According to one member of the Australian Parliament, King Charles III is not the country's monarch, and she sure let him know it. The king had just finished his remarks to Australia's governing body in Canberra on October 21, 2024, when Lydia Thorpe, an Aboriginal senator from Victoria, shouted, Thorpe didn't stop there, continuing,
"Give us our land back! Give us what you stole from us!"
Thorpe was soon removed from the chamber, but even as she was being escorted out, she continued shouting, "You are not our king, and this is not your land." According to the BBC, the senator has long been an advocate for a treaty between Australia and its First Nations people, like the one New Zealand has. The BBC notes, many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people emphasize that they never ceded their sovereignty or land to the Crown. At least one other Aboriginal leader, Auntie Violet Sheridan, criticized Thorpe's protest, calling it disrespectful and adding, "She does not speak for me." People notes that Buckingham Palace had no comment about the protest, but Charles, who was on just the first day of a 6-day visit to the country, his first since he became king in 2022, did address Australian Indigenous people's path to reconciliation in his remarks.
I've witnessed the courage and hope that have guided the nation's long and sometimes difficult journey.
Before it even started, Charles's trip to Australia promised to come with some controversy. The BBC reported that in the weeks leading up to his trip, Buckingham Palace exchanged letters with the Australian Republic Movement, a group that aims to remove Australia from the British Commonwealth. One of Charles's letters reportedly stated, "His Majesty, as a constitutional monarch, acts on the advice of his ministers, and whether Australia becomes a republic is therefore a matter for the Australian public to decide." Australia's last referendum on the issue came in 1999, when the effort to stop being a constitutional monarchy failed 55 to 45. In early 2024, efforts to put up another referendum to a vote were put on indefinite hold, despite Prime Minister Anthony Albanese making it a campaign promise in 2022. The brief tour of Australia hasn't been generating the best headlines for King Charles. Prior to the heckling incident, Charles and Camilla made an appearance at a handful of events in Sydney, including a service at St. Thomas Anglican Church, and a luncheon in his honor at the Parliament House of New South Wales. His presence was met by a group of protesters denouncing Britain's imperial history, and his attendance at the luncheon was notably brief. After making a short speech, Charles presented the gift of an hourglass, which he said was in the spirit of marking the passage of time. Shortly after, The Guardian reported, the king left the event within 10 minutes of arriving, retreating from the public eye until the following day. The early departure prompted a fresh round of speculation about the king's health as he continues to be treated for an undisclosed form of cancer, traveling with 2 private doctors and a supply of his own blood, according to the Times of London. A courtier speaking to the Daily Beast described the trip in stark terms, saying, "It's all about proving he isn't dying, to be blunt. The problem is that if anything goes wrong, people will leap to the opposite conclusion." Amid protests and questions about his health, it remains to be seen if the trip accomplishes Charles's goals.